Right? Not too, we're right on?
We're good.
So you didn't need 10 seconds?
More on there.
All right. Oh, 7-4. All right, so everybody got a copy of the agenda? Or at least to see it on Google Drive? Okay, it's on our Google Drive, but so just to clarify for the board meetings, please don't speak. If you need to have a conversation, go out there, unless the chair recognizes you. Raise your hand. Okay, so the board members get an agenda. That's because you're not on email, so it's just your own freaking fault.
All right, I'll just listen. I'll go with the.
All right, then-
I've gotten online. How do you feel pass this over?
You're way too slow. Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry. No, that you
You're
can,
okay.
you're welcome to it.
Yeah,
You can have that.
All right, so read and approve the agenda. So anybody need any modifications to the agenda?
I need to follow.
You've been modifying it all week long.
Yeah, but I always have modifications.
The items I have to add can go during my time, so.
They can. Your motions, you can make motions during your reports, yes.
I don't think I have any, but I'm looking at it again. No, not so far.
Okay. Anybody else, anybody have anything to add or a motion to approve the agenda?
I know we approved the agenda.
Okay. Anybody object to approving the agenda as written? Okay. We are now to our introduced guests. If you want to speak, you have 2 minutes. At the end of your 2 minutes, I'll cut you off. If you want to continue, you need to attempt to get a board member to extend your time. So we will start with Eric.
Basic introductions. And Eric, can I get your whole name?
All right, name is Eric, E-R-I-C, Mulder, M-U-L-D-E-R. I've been a Libertarian since about 2013. Right now I'm serving on the State Convention Planning Committee with Nathan over there. Thank you. That's about it as far as I know.
Okay.
David Atkin, I'm a volunteer.
Michelle Poe, Busy Blanket.
Kevin Gilbranson, interested bystander.
How do you spell your last name, Kevin?
G-U-L, Branson, B-R-A-N-S-O-N.
Me,
Yeah, yeah.
Victoria Reynolds.
Oh.
Yep.
I am Sarah Cannon. I'm new. I'm checking this party out.
Great hair.
Thank you. I like your hair.
Thank you.
I'm Nathan.
There you go. That's it? You didn't want to get your full 2 minutes?
I was upset that you made me say my name.
Yeah. All
Hear my voice now.
right. Make note that Clayton's here. I know he doesn't want to say his name. Okay. Next on the list are officer reports. So we'll start with the chair. Each one is 5 minutes. So let me set my timer here. I gotta do a new one. Okay. So the chair, I went to the OAI Liberty Tour, which actually was pretty good. The Debate Road Protest Rally, some of you guys made it to that. Great speakers. Convention committee, I would recommend a couple of those speakers. One of them would be Matthew Digi. He did a really good job the first out. And then there was another guy that he's supposed to email me. He was like the third speaker where I just opened it up for people. I don't remember his name, but he's supposed to email me his information. So, yep, so I keep those people in mind. Newspapers and radio shows have been calling me and asking questions. Karen Ann has taken a good chunk of those. Thank you very much. We went to the Denver Post today and they drilled us with some questions, which was great. They want some op-eds, is that what they call them? For people to write, and we'll send it to them, and they may or may not publish them, but just having them ask for them is a huge plus. So we want to write stuff, give to them. Not me, because I'm not a writer. So
So if we
Other
write
writers?
one, we give it to who?
to Karen.
And I'll get it over to
Yep.
him.
Because
We
they
need to
want
start,
testimony.
yeah, we need to start soliciting them on key issues. Now that we have a relationship with him, I'll get it over. And the other editor who was there is the same lady who interviewed me for the Colorado Springs Gazette. So it was already, oh, I already know you, so that was good.
The other things are bylaws and platform committees, but we'll let those committees do their thing later. Ballot initiative committee, and then the donate page. We finally have that mostly working. John, hopefully, John, you can hear. I'll get with you and we'll work out how that drop down works. But it's a little cleaner now than what it was a week ago.
I tested recently,
What was your recently?
4 days.
Okay, and it just had the one occupation, or did it have two?
There was only one.
Okay, and it worked.
Yeah, well, I was retired.
Okay. That is the end of my verbal report unless somebody has other questions.
And our donate page is thanks to a volunteer from the Radical Caucus.
That is absolutely true. I dumped it on the Radical Caucus. They did the work, and then I stole it and put it on our page. Steve Brennis, I think, did his
Yeah.
last name. Yep. Okay, so now you had a question, or you're just waiting?
Tony.
Okay, so now it's the vice chair.
I have nothing to add other than participation with the Denver Post today. Jay, we have another guest.
Oh, we're leaving. Sorry. You're fine. We will get to that after the reports. Treasurer, John.
He's on, yeah.
Oh, he's not?
Mhm.
Okay, we'll swing back by him if he shows up. Fundraising. No Matthew. Okay, campaigns. We'll swing back in. Campaigns.
I've got nothing, yeah.
Did I have a question on campaigns? I had a question on campaigns.
It was the,
It's still
off
campaign,
election
so-
years.
Oh, well, I was just asking to be recognized.
Yes, recognized.
Did you find out if there were partisan elections?
I did not get an email back from Joel, who's my contact at the SLS, but I did send an email to him to make sure. I did send an email to him, and I expect to have a response. I was honestly expecting a response today, but probably early next week. If he doesn't get back to me, I'll follow up with him.
There are some.
For what? For
For
next?
For the
next year.
requirements for the
No
party.
partisans? No partisan races?
2 more years.
Okay, awesome.
So only in congressional seat
Yeah.
elections.
And what there would be very, very minimal localized to maybe some off-cycle county commissioner slots, but that's really about it.
That would be part of
That
it.
would be part of it.
Well, and I
Everything else-
emailed Joel just to make sure and clarify what we'll need to do is anybody who shows interest in that, we'll just have to have them double check with their county clerk and make sure.
Why did we nomination in 2014?
Congressional year.
Congressional year. Congressional year and statewide governor, attorney general, stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay, okay.
Another question, where you were reviewing campaign guides, did you get that one from Washington? It wasn't really a campaign guide, it was a precinct coordinator guide
I don't
I
have
sent like a couple months ago.
Oh, yeah, I already
Was that
reviewed
useful?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you guys find any other guides, maybe. Forward them to me, and I'll be happy to review those. I'm gonna really start digging into that after the election.
Because Washington's probably going to be a major party after this election, so they're doing a lot of the groundwork that we hopefully will have to do at some point, so we can steal it from them. Especially since they're punking us on the national.
Okay, this time is almost up. Mike.
Where are we at as far as getting signed off for poll watchers?
We've had, I think, 3 people that have approached us. We put out the call for volunteers, and it's just as they're coming to us, Jay and I are getting that form signed and emailed off as fast as possible.
You've signed off on.
I just need to know anybody else who
I had
submitted.
a couple that I'll reach out.
I moved to extend for 1 minute.
Only been through 5, so I
Are you
have 2
timing
minutes.
for me too?
Yeah,
Sweet.
okay, Steve. Contacted Ralph Snellbar
Regarding,
for watching. It's a
Yeah,
project.
he's been in contact with us. He's going to be endorsing something called the Libertarian Party of Boulder County. But Harvey wanted to do it with the state, and we already got Harvey as well.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, he's been in contact.
Sorry.
Okay, anything else for campaigns?
Harvey went out.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause here real quick. Are you gonna do all the timing for me? Because that would be just spectacular. Okay, next is outreach. If she would shut her computer off. You're here.
I'm here, hi, sorry. 2 things. First, I would like to motion that we do the Denver Expo for the official name, Prepper Expo. So I was trying to pull up.
Prepper Expo.
Yes.
That sounds awesome.
Yes. So it's $750 for a booth. They're gonna give us a 20% discount. So I'd like to do that.
Is $750 after the discount or before?
Before the discount.
Okay.
So, and I've already spoken with them. They're excited and happy to have us if we're interested in doing that one.
Does it include insurance?
No, that does not include insurance. We will have to get insurance, and we can generally get that around $50 to $100. We found that company that's pretty cheap, so. And then the second one is the zombie crawl. They have not contacted me back yet, but that's $500 to do that one.
What's the amount of people that are expected to come to the Prepper Expo?
They said 7,000 to 8,000.
That's a
Those are our
good
people?
demographic.
Those are our people.
I mean, you're a little crazy, but
Yeah.
I like that. That's my kind of.
I'm sorry.
Your idea.
What is the Prepper Expo?
Well, when the government collapses, you're forced
Right.
to have your guns in your food.
It's,
These are the things you want to know.
Let me actually pull up.
Yeah, so you go take the thing.
I was late, slightly unprepared now.
It's right in with the zombie crawl because we
Yeah.
we may need to prep for the zombie apocalypse.
Right? It's the Self-Reliance Expo is the official name. So.
That makes more sense to me. Thank you.
Okay, so before we,
Should these be 2 motions?
yeah, so we need to do 2 motions. So the first one is going to be which one?
The first one is going to be the Self-Reliance Expo. And that one was the 20% off. It was $750. So,
$600.
yeah, plus insurance, about $750.
What dates?
And the dates?
November 4th.
Yeah.
So right before the election.
November 700.
Self-Reliance. It's a Denver Merchandise Mart.
National Western.
Oh, is it
So-
National Western?
For everybody's information, we have 6,000. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong number. 6,000 when we reimbursed. 8,000, thank you. 8,000 in funds. 500 of it is earmarked for Nation Builder to re-up that. So keep that in mind, we're here at 8,000-ish.
But I think I could, this past month, I could do some pushes for funds. If we approve this, I'll send out a mailer asking for money. Oh, yeah, no, right now's the time. We gotta get, I think that might excite a few people, both of
Yep.
those.
You gotta get it now in case Gary loses.
You advertise that heavily.
Yeah, those 2 are new.
Yeah, and the zombie call is huge for social media, huge. So we gotta look at that aspect too. It's not just the attendees that are gonna be
And
participating.
there are a lot of people.
Well, and
more than
I moved to call a question.
The question's called, so we need 2/3 vote. Anybody object? You don't call the question, means that we actually will go to vote next.
And we're voting
We
on.
end
the first-
discussion,
Oh, so we're voting on
This
the
is
call,
the-
the question.
We're voting on to end the discussion. So anybody object, end the discussion.
I object to a comment towards the zombie crawl.
So
That's
we
gonna be
have-
the next motion.
Yeah, this is
We're-
not the zombie.
We're motion, it's just this, so.
You still object?
No, I withdraw my intention.
Okay, so with no objection, now we're gonna vote for the
Self-reliance Expo.
Thank you. The Self-Reliance Expo for $700 about. Any objection to that? All right, so know that it's a unanimous. So your next one.
The zombie crawl, that one is $500 plus insurance. Again, that'll probably be about 50, especially since it's only one day. That one, again, like I said, huge social media presence. So it's not just the actual attendees. It's going to be, we're going to come up every time, you know, they use that hashtag and stuff too. So
Can you explain what that is? I just like the name.
the zombie crawl, it's
Oh, it's
like
fun.
it's a race, but you get dressed up in your zombie gear. They have makeup artists down there, and then you pretty much do a little 5K, and then there's a party afterwards.
And this is the one on the 16th Street
Yeah.
Mall? Okay.
And the date was.
So there's people wandering
That
around
one's
and
the
attacking
22nd, I
you
think.
and everything.
October?
Yeah.
So it's coming up quickly?
Yeah, in 2 weeks.
They have booths for, they'll have booths?
Yeah, I haven't heard back from them yet, so that's why that was the second motion, not the first.
They have booths previous.
Yeah, but they do have booths,
So
yeah.
we have some
So the vendor
available.
booths are $500, they're available. I just don't
Motion.
know if they still have any available, because they haven't contacted
Motion.
me back.
Do you know
Or
what
if they
motion
are
is?
willing to have.
I'm trying to be recognized by the chair to make my motion.
But she already motioned.
No, I'm motioning to extend outreach time by another 5 minutes. Our time
Oh,
has
we're out of
elapsed.
time. Okay. So we ran out of time, so we need to extend the time. You want to extend it by 5 minutes?
Yes.
Okay, so extend by 5 minutes. Or is there any objection to the 5 minutes? No. All right, we got 5 more.
Okay. Well, that was pretty much all I had to say, so unless you guys have questions.
Now you'll say for it.
Are you guys good for a vote, or do you want a discussion?
What was the fund amount again?
500 for that one.
550 with insurance.
Yeah, 550.
Michael's doing the right thing and raising his hand.
Sorry.
Am I under the understanding that some people from the Colorado for Gary Johnson campaign are willing to donate to that as well?
What that is he's wanting to do another sign wave and send volunteers to our booth, and we're going to do it. He went ahead and created an event because they're going to go down there with signs anyhow, but that's not this. So
Somebody buys as well.
yeah, 10 by 10 booth, standard setup.
Anybody else? All right, so we'll move to a vote. Is there any objection to the motion for, is this one,
Zombie crawl,
how much was it?
500
500 plus insurance?
plus insurance.
So $600 for the zombie crawl. Okay, so no objection, but that's unanimous.
Now I'm going to be busy.
Oh, delegate.
Is there, there's lots of volunteers right here.
Right.
Is there anything else for your report?
Yeah, that's it.
I have one thing I'd like to add for outreach for consideration. We had a very successful Chili for Holy Festival a couple weeks ago. However, I did get a lot of comments from people who visited the Colorado State Fair, found the Republicans and the Democrats, but did not find the Libertarians. And upwards in the area of 15 to 20 people expressed their disappointment that they could not find us at the Colorado State Fair.
We didn't do that one because of the cost.
I understand
so-
the cost, and a 10-day
Yeah.
10-day run is difficult
Yeah.
to, and I did the best to explain that to them. Just something to think about and possibly consider if we ever get to that point.
So put in your notes for next year.
Actually, I have a question. Did those forms get over to Dee to be put in the database, or what do we do?
Yeah,
she's
I
doing them?
actually, because I was laid up for a while, I got most of them put in. I've only got one.
Oh, okay.
So,
I just wanted to make sure they were getting.
Okay, anything else for outreach? Okay, we are now to, well, let's go back to John's on. John?
While we wait for John, for outreach, t-shirts.
Is John off mute?
He's off mute.
I have nothing to add.
Is that John?
That's John.
I have a question for John.
Okay, John.
John, we had a donor offer us $8,000 and we had to give back $6,900.
6,950.
Ouch.
So that donor, I have redirected to other principal liberty-minded organizations to donate to. But yeah, he hit his cap. He actually hit it
We love
twice.
you.
Yes, so we had to,
That's awesome.
yes.
And that stemmed from the meeting we had with Harris.
Yes. Harris is giving us good things. All right, anybody else to have treasurer questions? Okay, so we skipped fundraising, so fundraising will come back to you.
Well,
well, new things here, no one had been in place. The base for me, obviously, basic idea is just going into the training. I finally kind of see what nation builder is all about. I do have experience in CRM programs with tagging and creating organized mailing lists and targeted marketing operations. Actually, I can almost regret telling you that because there's a lot I could do on that, I know, but understanding that now, it'll be really helpful in what I have to do, considering that that's something I also know how to do. Now, like, kind of get the grasp of that, that'll be easy. The event, the Self-Reliance Expo, is one of the most important things, I think. I brought that up to Marie when I saw that. It's one of the things in my report that I really want to work on is business connections. And I think people who are going to be in line with our cause. So that's going to be a goal moving forward, is to keep an eye on that and keep outreach informed of these opportunities, because, you know, I have never been involved in a non-election year, so it's just my guess that there's not as many opportunities for outreach.
No, there is not. You
Yeah.
have to find them.
Yeah, so, you know, queuing in on some really specific things where we could get the most bang for our buck, and a lot of that, I think, has to not just be in touch with voters. I mean, it's great every registration that we're able to get for someone to change, you know, Libertarian is fantastic, but we also need to be able to build up our funds a lot in a way that's going to be able to do that. The people that we can best get our message to are oftentimes going to be business owners, or folks against regulations and taxes. We can really say that we're going to bat with them. And I don't want to get too influenced, because a lot of this I'd like to take up and speak with you guys on how to go about this, but I think something we can offer those businesses, if we could use regions to help organize, or locals to be involved in more city council events, even if we're just there viewing, just so that we can be there to have a say and have an understanding of what they might be doing, businesses in the area, so we can stay on top of it, and we can be there as a middleman for them to understand possibly their local politics. And if we can take that position and prove ourselves as a valuable partner to them, I think it's going to be a lot easier for us down the line to be able to get funds from them. We have the money bomb going right now. Thank you, Karen, for all the help with that. It's going to require a lot of contact, which is good to be able to actually get the money. That's something big I want to do. I have, my life slows down a ton, basically November 1st, and I want to actually be able to go out, hit the pavement, talk with people that we have had good donations from in the past, you know, try to have, you know, first name basis with them, so we can stay in contact anytime that we might need something important. I really want to be able to know these people on a first name basis. I think that's very important. And beyond that, just the idea of finding the public events that we have to do. In the summertime, we can all organize a golf tournament. We'll find all sorts of ways to make money, but I think we're going to have to engage people as much as we can to be able to raise money. Sometimes it's a lot easier to offer a good time to people or something interesting to make some cash than it is to just outright go and ask them for it. So that's going to be part of what I'm working on, is finding ways to get people to interact and engage them, and hopefully that will lead to a large increase in funding.
You are on the convention committee, right?
Yes.
So you help bring in funds through there?
Yes, that's a big part. I want to be part of that day, is because, like, yeah, that's very important for the convention.
Okay, Karen Ann?
This was more in general the board for that fundraiser we're doing right now. If anyone has any extra money to, at least, we're trying to get the numbers up a bit and trying to pump some more. So if you can go and pledge $10 or so, that would be greatly appreciated. It's on the front page, LP Colorado.
Could I count it as a donation if I just threw away my receipt for the extension cord?
No, you need to go pledge some money.
So I got to give that to you and get it back, and then.
Well, give it to you and get it back.
Okay. Look at that.
Okay. Anybody else have anything for fundraising? Okay, so now we'll move on to regions.
The other things I'd like to add are kind of a summary of the numbers that I did include in the miscellaneous. We got 4 new county contacts last month, 3 of which were roles that were not filled the month before. I spent a lot of the month kind of listening and trying to introduce myself to some of the more active affiliate and development group leaders. And there's still a lot of work with that to try to build up the trust and kind of build a relationship with these people, but it's definitely worth it, so there's going to be some more of that. And kind of to that end, I would like to expand my presence on social media now that I've gotten my feet a little wet last month, so I'm going to be asking to get admin access to all of the pages, and I'm going to be encouraging the affiliate and development groups just to use the Facebook events more. I thought that was really helpful whenever I was going through, and some that didn't respond to my email for updates, I was able to get it out of them anyway by using their Facebook. And if they give me updates in the email but not on the Facebook, then I'll encourage and then update it myself to make sure that that's utilized. Also, to give a voice to some of the affiliate and development group leaders, I'd like to solicit communications from them that I would include in my report directly, verbatim from them, just so that they can have kind of a presence in the report.
So remind the affiliates that they can assign an affiliate representative to come and represent them here. The other part is you probably won't get admin access to the affiliate Facebook groups because they're autonomous. They don't belong to us. I mean, they sort of kind of belong to us, but they're their own entities. Development groups definitely.
All except for one of them.
We'll kick the Douglas County Development Group out if they don't give that. Mary Ann?
I had a couple questions. Okay. With getting on the admin access to social media, have you taken a look at my social media seminar training? Because I do not want you to break my heart. So I will get you a link to that because it will give you some tips on how to effectively post on Facebook.
Absolutely.
So I'll get you that link. The other thing I wanted to let you know, as far as, I think I told you this before, but to make sure, as far as Mesa County, there's someone moving from Virginia who will be moving to Mesa, was on the Libertarian Party of Virginia board for 36 years. God bless him. And he probably will be starting something up at Mesa. I'm going to get him your name.
Perfect. I think I just see that in the markets, yeah.
How much time?
Still about a minute.
A minute. David?
Yes. If you have new county contacts or updated county contacts, if you'll send them to me, I'll get them on the webpage.
Yeah, we need to update the webpage constantly.
Dave, he's using the same form that I used, so as long as you see that way, if he forgets to email you, double check that, it's on that same.
Okay, send me the link and I'll get it to you.
Wait.
George, I wanted to throw my hat in the ring. If you have any new people that are considering or just starting a new development group, I'd be happy to talk to them or show them how to make it work.
That's great.
You're out of time? Guys, I think Mike was next. So Mike.
Anything to report about El Paso and whether that's starting to resolve itself?
It sounded like it was.
I will take that one. El Paso will resolve itself. They have a board meeting on Saturday. We need to let them take care of it themselves.
So last month, Steve said he was willing to work with you to be a regional contact for the metro region. How's that progress going?
I have not delegated to Steve yet. I wanted to get an idea of what the work was going to be like and where the problems were going to be before I just started delegating work out to him. But that was going to be on October 2 that I was going to be reaching out to him, especially with handling the emails. That's really the you will know. It's a lot, yeah, and I think that it's not impossible that that's going to be something that I'm going to ask him to help delegate. To try to bunch it up. I'm going to try to avoid. I'm got it close at a time, but I'm sending the. I'm going to send them in batches instead of forwarding individual emails, and I think that's going to be a little bit more personal for these county contacts to receive. One email from me is not going to have. I'll be able to kind of message it a little bit better, and I think that if they get them all at once, even if it's just for a block of a few days or a week, that they'll be able to act on them all at once, and it'll be easier for them or not to pass off.
So lean on Steve.
Yeah.
Let's go on.
All right, so he's out of time. So now membership.
Well, my apologies for being off the email for so long. I had a grand opening for my business on September 29th, and that thoroughly dominated my time. However, it is a good segue to a lot of the initiatives in terms of building, and it's so funny. Okay, so I attend every Liberty on the Rocks, and I speak to the group. One of the major things I say is please come to the board meeting, it's open to the public. I was very thrilled that at one point I asked how many of you are registered libertarians, and about 90% of the room raised their hands. Well, that's surprising. That's such a difference from when I first went there 8 years ago. And that's one. I also attend the Center Right Coalition, which is the same day of each month in the morning, which is hyper conservative. However, they are very receptive to libertarians, and many of them do kind of filter in and out. Like David Williams, Frank Atwood is almost at every meeting. He's certainly very busy with what he's doing. But it's very good intel on a lot of the different groups and what they are really pushing towards. Especially the Brattons, where their legislative work is phenomenal. And then a lot of Americhicks are very liberty-leaning, of course. And a lot of these groups aren't that way, but again, there's these other conservative groups that fascinating discussions, and guests are always welcome at that. It's 9 a.m., same day, second Monday of the month here in this room. Other than that, obviously I want to work with both regions and fundraising, because my primary thing to be doing will be activating libertarians out there to get involved. And I kind of missed the boat getting involved at this point, because the number one thing to be able to activate libertarians are campaigns. So at any level, if somebody's in their district where they can volunteer, it's amazing how really passionate it builds up in those various libertarians. So over the next year, especially in these off-season elections, when we can have those city council types, and I also want to work with libertarians on intel in terms of boards and commissions, where we're essentially volunteering against a lot of statist types, progressives like people believe, to actually build a better message to the city officials about things they should consider. That's the end of my report. Anything else? Happy to address. Going forward, obviously, if you want to delegate anything, very happy to help assist or and I would like your social treatment as well.
I'll send you the link.
Anybody have questions for membership? Okay, my apologies, Mike Stapleton. Back to legislative.
The only thing that I really want to push is the upcoming Principles of Liberty training. I would definitely like to get as many of the board members to the training as possible, so they have a comprehensive understanding of what Rich Bratton does with his organization and the Principles of Liberty, and what a valuable tool that can be to us. But then I also want to make a really big push through social media and to get people to get the trainings out there, so we can get other people involved besides the board members, people who may be interested in volunteering. I would love to have more libertarians volunteer than some of the Republicans. It would definitely create for some interesting discussion as we go through the legislation as it comes out. Again, I will be volunteering to review and analyze legislation with them. And like I said, the more people, especially libertarians, that we can have doing that, I think we can get some things moving definitely in that direction.
Quick question, Marie. Do you have their schedule so you can get a post?
I was actually just looking at that right now, because I know I shared the one on
The first one in Colorado, and again, is going to be in northern Colorado. They don't have a location, and that's November 19th. And then Colorado Springs will be Saturday, December 3rd. Denver will be here at the Independence Institute Saturday, December 10th.
So I'll get a hold of
November 19th.
I'll get a hold of Chelsea.
Yeah, it seems like I have put their up in Casper, sorry.
I haven't recognized that yet. Chelsea? Bratton's daughter?
Chelsea Spencer.
Spencer,
Yeah, what her first name?
Chelsea.
Chelsea? Do you have her email address? Okay, I'll get you her email address and she can tell you the schedule.
Yeah, 'cause I'm not seeing the Northern Florida calendar, that Northern Florida one.
I have it in my email right here, I can forward it to you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to create those as LPCO events or just share them?
If we can share theirs, because that way we don't have to create the event and they know who's coming.
Some of theirs they've already put out on social media, some of them they haven't.
Right. Yeah.
So Jay, do you want those simply added to the Facebook page, like on those events? Because I can go to what Rich has already created and just add them to our Facebook.
See, the
page.
problem with sharing, I'm not a fan of sharing. It's not good for us, and we are not going to hit our algorithm for them. I'm
So,
not doing that for anybody.
Instead of creating a new event, can we just link to
Yes.
theirs?
We can link, but not share.
Okay, I just don't want us to creating a wholly other
So
thread for them.
I'll link to it. I'll add it to the upcoming events for Libertarian Party of Colorado as one of the events. But that way we don't have to share it. It's just linked on that page, right?
That's fine, links perfectly fine.
And that's Facebook events versus meetup events?
Yeah, I don't.
Should also be a
When we-
meetup event?
We're not gonna, we shouldn't do their event and meet up either. We need to let them do their own.
And they're, if they have a meetup event, we could add them to that Colorado Libertarians blanket group. So like how Liberty on the Rocks appears on ours.
I don't think they have a meetup.
Okay, if they don't, then we're not gonna create it, but if they
No, no.
do, we can add them to that universe.
Yeah. You had a question?
I think you guys answered the question. I was just gonna ask if it's gonna be on the page so we can
Yeah.
link to it by.
They also have a website, principlesofliberty.org.
The only thing is when you go to their training, they have the 2015 schedule up on their training.
Well, they need to fix it. Rich, pay attention. Okay. Anything else for legislative?
That's it.
Any questions for legislative? We did membership already, so communications. Oh, go ahead, yep.
Okay, so I've got a couple of things to add to the report. As far as advertising on Facebook, we had approved for 3 months. I still have 1 more month left in the budget, so I'll be doing something for October, but it's gone very well. We have averaged 28 cents a like, which I think is the best that we had done. With things like Principles of Liberty or any other thing where I keep hearing people saying, I'd like this on social media, you need to email me because that's my to-do list. And if there's something you want, write the blurb. I can't do it forever. So if there's volunteers, I'm just picking on you now because I saw you first. If there's volunteers you want, write the blurb for me. And when I say write it, I mean quite literally, because Jay once sent me something he wrote. We thought I would change it. And he ended up going, the state is full of shit on our Facebook page. So write the blurb and get it to me, and I'll keep it in my inbox, and I will push it out. So particularly if people need volunteers. And I think that might have been it. Back onto national memberships. As you all have seen, I've been complaining that Washington is punking us because they beat us ahead on the list. So we really need to push that. And it's not just a pride of place thing. We do get advantages in national for having more members. So if any board member here is not a National Party member, please do that tonight, $25, lp.org/membership. And I think that's it on my report. I don't know if anyone had any questions.
Did we get an answer as to whether those can be gifted or not?
Did he not write you back?
So I did email Wes and he forwarded it to somebody else, and that person, let me double check and see if a response has come in.
Legal requirements number 4.
I don't remember if it was Robert. I'll give you 1 second here.
Is it a family membership for your immediate family?
Yes, my 2-year-old really wants to join. She has a serious issue with authority.
My 8-year-old joined. There are no age requirements, so my 8-year-old joined.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. I helped her.
I'll find out on that and get back to you.
If I'm just recruiting $10 a month, I'm a national member.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes, it is. If you give $25 over the course of a 12-month period.
But it's recurring locally?
No,
To the
no,
state party or
national.
recurring national? Okay.
And national, has to be national party. Anybody else, board members for communications? I saw 2 hands, 1 hand.
I'll sponsor, if I can legally do it, I'll sponsor 10 people's membership for The national party.
There's a little thing at the bottom that says the money has to be your own. Isn't that what it says?
that you have to verify that the money has not been given to you specifically for the purpose of joining. the
Yeah, so I
party.
think sponsorships
That's
would
why
not
it's
work.
kind of iffy if you can gift it or not.
So sponsorships will work as long as nobody knows that you're paying.
I will.
Give them 25 bucks for beer, and then the beer money can go to the party.
Anybody else have a question? I thought I saw another hand.
That's not what I'm going to Jasper.
Okay. Is that it for communications? Records.
Okay, in addition to my report, a couple things, questions mostly. I got 2 calls from longtime libertarians wondering where the heck our positions are on the ballot initiatives today. Okay. They're actually checking the website for that.
I know.
So can we feature that on the front page? Because that's current.
I have that in my plans when we have it noted.
Okay. All right. Also, this is for you, Karen. We had a longtime member who was concerned about continuing her donations, and John may know about this as well, because he felt that we were headed in a more radical direction. And
And I've had some people who up their donations because they think the same thing. You can never make everyone happy.
all right. And then, George, you asked about grocery tax info. Frank Atwood led a campaign that removed it in Lakewood, and Natalie and I ran a campaign that removed it in, no, we did Lakewood, Frank did Louisville. So talk to myself or Frank and tell you how to do it. And then there's a Colorado Libertarians Facebook page, and probably everybody already knows this, but I just found it.
I never.
So if you go to the Colorado Libertarians, you find our Facebook page. If you go to Colorado Libertarians, there's another one that's been dormant since 2012.
You're talking about the one that's auto-generated, the one that says this one's not made by anybody, because that's up there too.
I don't know about that one. But the other one, it turns out I'm listed as an organizer, so I can get rid of it.
Delete it.
No, merge it.
Merge
No.
it?
Are you talking about
No,
No,
merge it.
no.
You're talking
no.
about the community,
If we
not the parish.
It's
It's
a Facebook
page.
page.
It doesn't affect anybody that likes their page that doesn't
It's
like
from
our page.
it's from 2012,
That's
and we'll
the
start to
last-
take hits when Facebook deletes its dead accounts. No merging.
So you think I should just
I
delete it?
think you misunderstand.
No, I don't misunderstand. This has come up before in the state admins group.
All right.
You have a page that's been dead for 4 years, you don't merge them.
Okay.
But, well, will you send me the link so I could just take an eyeball at it before we make the final decision on it?
Okay. Bare Bones Convention, it sounds like looking at these plans that we're not doing Bare Bones Convention. So I had a place for $200, guys. Could have done the whole thing there for $200.
I'm not against that.
That's going away. My donation, I talked to John about this as well. My repeating donation dropped in January, and I got no notice of it. I just found out because I was messing around.
You're
with PayPal.
staring at me, what?
Well, that's your next topic after that. But, I guess this is for John. Is he on?
Yeah.
Okay. We need some way to really hit people up and say, did you mean to drop it when their donation drops for the recurring guys? John?
Yeah, John needs some.
I can do that.
And Matt.
I can do that.
Okay.
And Matt could follow up as fundraising director.
Right. Or I used to call them as treasurer whenever they drop. But okay, all right, thanks, John. And then the other thing is when I did a restart, I instantly got a thank you from Karen. So that's good feedback for our donors and stuff.
You're welcome.
And then finally, meetup in my report, I just put X's because I forgot to count how many new people we've been getting, but we've been getting a lot of new people.
Oh, we totally need to have a party when that hits 1,000.
It might be there.
Oh, I think it's almost there.
It's almost there.
Yeah, okay. But who would take the list? We've talked about this in the past, and I helped you down there, Matthew.
It's LNC
Maybe
data.
I look at it again. Of the new meetups.
It's LNC data that goes to
No. He's talking about something entirely different.
new meetups.
No, sorry, new members for meetups.
The new members in
We have-
meetup.com, those don't go through Nation Builder.
We have 3 meetups that get new members all the time.
Someone needs to enter them into the channel.
Okay, so who do I send those to?
LNC data. That goes
Who
to
is LNC?
outreach, regions, membership, I think are the 3 that it goes to.
Okay, so send new meetups.
But they need to know to add them then. That's not been part of our protocol.
They know to add national.
So we're gonna add this.
So now we're at a meetup, and now they know that all three are here.
So LNC list, what is the?
LNC data.
So
and
I
LP
just type
Colorado.
LNC data? No, it's at
At
Colorado.
lpcolorado.org. Then I'll go to those three members, and between those three, they get to fight who gets to add it to the nation.
There are hundreds.
Literally.
All right. And Western Slope's really been kicking up recently too, so. All right. That was everything I had.
Aren't we capturing their information when they RSVP for events?
If they accept, if they accept an event and say, yes, I'm going, then they
Or
do.
no, I'm not.
No, the no's don't show up. It's just the yeses. We're over time for records. So
I'd like to add a minute to records.
Any objection? A minute? Okay. Meetup automatically adds them if they accept, or they are going to attend an event, not the no's. That was wrong. He was incorrect. After a while, he agreed that he said yes.
But there are people who join just to get notifications in the Colorado Libertarians group, and those are not automatically added. That's
But now I'm gonna send those to this LNC list.
And between regions, membership, and outreach, it will get added.
There'll be a whole bunch to start with.
Yes.
I forgot two.
Are we over time?
We got 20 seconds.
Okay.
I forgot two things from my report.
That was tough luck.
Oh, come on.
You need to suspend the rules
I
and
move to
change.
suspend the rules to add my two items that I forgot from my report.
Okay, that takes a 2/3 vote to suspend the rules to add another item to the agenda. Is there any objection? Fine, you get your 2/3 vote. Go.
Okay, so the only things I forgot to add that came out since the time of the report is there's a new interview article out, which I could send around to the board, was Get Smart About the Libertarian Party, an extensive interview with me with a lot of questions and answers that's gotten some play. And we already talked about the Denver Post. So it was more that article that came out. That was
You're
it.
gonna send that around?
I'll send it around.
Okay, so next on the list is the LNC report. It's 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. On the subject of national memberships, I'm going to be pursuing with Nathan and some other discussion group on the possibility of reinstituting the UMP program, if anyone remembers that. A variation of it, because FEC rules have changed, but there's a lot of interest in that, and I think it could be valuable in the upcoming year. So a lot of you know there was a little bit of a game of chicken and over the eternal secrecy clause in the contract, and there's victory on that count. There's no longer an eternal secrecy clause on there. In a year, everyone will get to see the contract, the secret portion, and the rest of it is available now, but Nick asked as a personal favor to keep it confidential until after election, and I thought that was a reasonable request, so I am going to comply with that. So after election, the main body of the contract, all members will be able to see, and in 1 year, they'll even be able to see the secret portions, and that's a victory for this party. I think that was an important fight. It might be the most important fight that I make in my 2-year tenure.
You can quit.
I can quit now.
Karen, would you define the program for everybody that's not familiar with it already?
It's the unified membership program in the past where there was like one sign-up page with national. I don't know all the details of it.
They used to collect $25 and they'd send $10 to us and keep 15.
Well, and they would let them join the state party.
Right.
We didn't have that because we don't have dues, but other parties, they were getting money for their state memberships.
We got money.
We got $12 of the 25, but there was something additional that other states were getting.
Okay.
So such as some states have a $25 a year membership fee to be a member. They don't have partisan registration. So they were getting that as well. So some variation of that where there's more of a cooperation between national and the states.
We killed it because they kept all our money because they ran short on budget.
But I heard that was part of it
needed
too.
that money. So
It's time.
2 minutes up. Anybody want to extend the time?
That was part of it, yes.
Okay, no extension. We are on the committee report, so technology committee. Nope. Okay, I'm going to add to his technology committee report. Nation Builder. If you have not, especially the 3 new people, done the training, you need to go do the training. It's a video. It is on. Get out your pencil if you don't have Google Drive. So if you go to My Drive and Google Drive, there's a board of directors folder that should already be in your Google Drive from the previous director. Then you go to trainings, and there's 2 trainings in there. There's a Google Drive training if you need some exposure to Google Drive, and then there's Nation Builder. They're both videos, and it will give you your jump start to Nation Builder. Okay? You also need to sign the Nation Builder form. If I haven't sent it to you, let me know. You need that you will not disclose the information from Nation Builder to outside entities without going through the board first. It's our data. We don't want to share it. Okay. That's it for technology report. Now we are on the convention committee report. Nathan, are you the representative for the committee?
Me and Eric are both here. Okay, so
You got 2 minutes.
I'm just gonna quickly go through this. People who have the convention report in front of you, the first page has total expenses, total revenue, and then the projected profit of the convention. If there's a concern surrounding the price, I'm going to go through. There's each day, which is just laid out plainly. I think the entertainment budget can be reduced by $500 on the Friday line item under expenses. That $500 reduction would mean that we would only do one of the live band, inflatable jousting, boxing, or the casino games. I would lean towards the inflatable jousting / boxing option. I talked to the hotel person the person we're working with at the hotel, and she said there's no issue with us serving alcohol and having that present and beating each other up with the inflatables, as long as we're willing to purchase liability insurance. She said, we've had situations where they've had rodeo, whatever things set up where people try to get knocked off the bull, the mechanical bulls, that's what it was, and that they've had that and alcohol. And as long as we have liability insurance and we list them as one of the people who are protected under the liability insurance, that there's no issue, and that approximately those inflatables will cost $600 or $700, and for $300 or $400 we can get in liability insurance. It's just our shot in the dark guess. That seems pretty accurate.
So do we keep the inflatables?
No, we just rent the inflatables. But they're like 13 by 13 rings that have like massive boxing gloves that each person gets, or like jousting. So you're like trying to push someone off a pier with like a stick with like pretty much pillows on either side of it. It would be really, really exciting.
How's that? How's explain the map approved?
Because you're going. Well, actually, I think I do actually have a reference to NAV approval. Yeah.
I move to extend state convention committee report by 10 minutes.
I second.
Is there any objections to such thing? All right, so we're now to 12 minutes.
To point out, there is a reference to the inflatables being NAV approved, because people are voluntarily approving to beat the shit out of each other. Okay, so next thing, the play-to-play revenue then number, which was estimated initially at 2,000, would then drop to 1,000. There would be a charge fee for going and being able to beat each other up with the thing, like either something like $10 per person, or the loser pays 20 or $19.99 for filing purposes. Even though we'll take 20s, we just didn't take it in anything greater than $19.99 increments, is what I'll tell the treasurer to make their life and reporting easier. Okay, so that would drop to by 1,000 as an estimated. So that would be $1,000 as the play-to-play revenue. That would result in a net loss overall of $500, but a reduction in money in overall budget of $500, and probably the $2,000 for pay-to-play if we have both of those things going on is pretty generous anyway. So there's probably really no net change there. If we go to Saturday, there's a discussion. We had a couple things that came up. One of them is that we have 3 seminar rooms in the budget. I talked to the hotel person. We can just drop seminar rooms or drop rooms, and it's fine. Historically, there was somebody on the committee who remembered us doing 3 seminars side by side every time. My memory is we do 2.
No, we've had one with 3.
We've had one with 3. Okay, I think we should do 2, just because that means we don't have to bring in speakers, and that reduce that line item. So that would reduce that line item by $300. We had a discussion. This is something the board needs to discuss about whether or not they would like to see a debate take place. We thought it would be fun to do a debate between Adam Kokesh and Austin Peterson about what's the appropriate size of government that libertarians should be advocating for necessarily, or something along that lines, more practical, like selling minarchy first, or like let's go like minarchy and like straight to anarchy, or blah blah blah. Karen made an excellent point though, that it's divisive and people are on edge, and we probably just need to take a chill pill and don't want to be yelling at each other on stage, even though that probably would be ridiculous to entertain. I do think that the let's not be assholes to each other, and that one incites anger in the situation, is a very valid thing. So that would drop off ticket sales as a revenue item if that was accepted on Sunday. So we have 3 seminar rooms. Obviously that could be reduced to save money on travel and save money on the seminars. There's a discussion going on in the state convention committee about whether or not we want to do this big LPEC style event, or whether we want to just do a fluffy business meetings essentially and just have fun things around them. I would be on the side of either just doing business meetings or just having the fluff, but there is a discussion about trying to get a Pendulette major level star person, and as Karen cringes, I'm cringing too. I just have to keep on speaking. In an off year, yes, I'm not the one who's pushing it, but I'm going to say it. And in the case that we can't, and we haven't made any progress in the last 6 months, that people have been trying to get a big speaker here, because it turns out they're really expensive and we aren't going to make our money back, and they aren't willing to do a revenue sharing and blah blah blah. Eric,
I thought we couldn't get Pendulette because of a scheduling conflict.
we have a potential to get Pendulette. He just can't let us know before the end of this month, because he has to negotiate with MGM Grand if he was to come and do another show, and have some type of a revenue sharing concept between the speaker to make it so the LPCO isn't out in the cold. I personally hate it, and the committee member who is pushing very, very hard for that, sadly is not here and has a family emergency, and I'm not going to try to present his opinion because I wouldn't do it well. But in the case that we wouldn't have a large speaker on that Sunday night, I would recommend that we don't have seminars on Sunday. We just do business in the morning. That gives us a bunch of time to run over if we have run over. If not, we get our Sunday nights for free, and we remove the $300 or we remove the $900 as a line item. That would shift the total revenue, the only source of revenue on Sunday of 1/2 the seminar ticket sales, over into Saturday, and would increase that revenue point on Saturday by $600. It represents no net change in the overall budget, but is a clerical change that would need to be made. In terms of special expenses, I would think that none of this really needs to be changed. I think that the booths and sponsorships numbers are low with the team that we have in place this year. But the printing number is relatively speaking high, and we don't necessarily need 4 out-of-state speakers on an off year. I would see a situation where we need 2, 1 for Saturday night and 1 to do a ground game, potentially who's driving seminar driven on Saturday. If you go to the next page, there's a general convention overview in terms of the schedule. There has been a discussion to amend the schedule, and obviously the schedule isn't set in stone. We do have full flexibility with the hotel, since they can't use the room if we're using it for 4 hours during the day. If they can't just like find someone who's like looking to use it in the morning, and they have to charge us pretty much like for more time than we're actually using it for. So we have flexibility to move those hours around. Currently, there's only 3 hours devoted on each day to business. We could hypothetically, and there was a discussion where we could push that back by an hour and just push everything else on the entire schedule except for the banquet back by an hour, since we do have a proposed county games that Matt has said that he would like to see some type of a county affiliates doing team building exercises and trying to win some type of a prize. I think it's a pretty good idea. I think it could be executed well, but that's proposed, or we just have a break during that time period. But that would eat into that 3.5 hours, which is very long. We don't need that full 3.5 hours for county games if we were to do it. So that would, if all of the changes that I said were taken into account, to go over $500 reduced from the entertainment budget, $1,000 lost from the pay-to-play line on Friday, $300 taken off of the Saturday seminar rooms cost, increasing the revenue for ticket sales by $600 on Saturday, debate ticket sales being dropped off, the seminar rooms, the 3 seminar rooms being removed from Sunday, thus not having seminars, 1/2 of the seminar sales being removed, and that not just being moved, the revenue from those just being moved onto the Saturday line item and not being split between Saturday and Sunday. And then just keeping the out-of-state speaker travel just the same number at $1,600, just so we're high on that. That would represent a reduction in $1,400 on the revenue and a reduction of $1,700 on our expenses. I'm not sure, but I think I did that math right. Regardless, that would change the total revenue for the convention to being $15,200 in projected revenue. That would change the projected expenses to be minus, this number is harder to do. 711, it would be $11,550 in total expenses. One of the, I just know this question is going to come up, so it's in terms of a payment schedule to the hotel. Oh, I didn't mention, we're going to have the convention at the Westin Hotel in Westminster, Broomfield area, so it's kind of central and it's nicer than what we normally do. Because normally we choose places where you're going to get stabbed, so we can have them really, really cheap. And I just don't think that we want people to be getting stabbed. Not that anybody has to this point, but if you've been to the previous state conventions, you understand that we do not have them in the good parts of town. So we're going to do that this time. And that's why our line items are a little bit more expensive, but we've gotten that to those numbers equal out each other. And that would put the total profit from the convention somewhere in the neighborhood of $4,000 to $5,000. I don't want to do that math. So in terms of paying the hotel, when we signed for it, we would have to put $1,000 deposit down. We would have the remainder of what we've paid due 10 days out, mainly because we have to pay for food in advance. And we probably could have that negotiated, so we're only paying for food in advance, and then we're paying for the rooms afterwards, because those don't actually require them to spend significant amounts of money. That can't just be like they can't just undo the cooking and blah blah blah. So, but there would be $1,000 due immediately, essentially as soon as we signed it, to put people in. And this is something that lands back on the committee. We don't, with our timeline between now and the state convention, we really have to pick a location very, very quickly if we're looking to stay at the end of March. And we have to sign on to one ideally before the next board meeting if we actually want to get space because of how far in advance these are booked out. And that does fall back on the committee's failure to operate at a high rate. But we don't really have time to, or we do have time. It's just going to consume a lot of everybody else's time if we are trying to change locations or do things like that and scrap it. Unless we can just do the $200 for the room for the meetings, which I'm not against at all, and just have a separate outreach event. The separate outreach event would just be a money pit though, and we wouldn't make money off of it.
We do fundraising money.
We would make some fundraising money. We probably, I don't know. But I don't have an issue with us separating those two things.
You're out of time.
Okay.
So we need a motion for?
I move to extend time again another 10 minutes.
Any objections? All right.
I'm pretty much, okay, Karen.
Okay, wait, before these guys talk, we need to go back to the initial discussion we had for the committee, right? And I'm not sure if the board remembers this, but so you've given us all this, given all this information to us. Are there anything in here specifically you're asking the board for? Because I said the committee has to make the decisions on a lot of the stuff. We're going to decide the money, the budget, but I don't think that the board should be coming in and telling the committee when to change their position of their activities unless you're specifically asking the board to give their input.
I'm asking the board to give their input on a couple of different things. The froofy event concept of let's have a massive speaker and let's lose a bunch of money even though we think we can make money, even though every single libertarian event that does this loses money thing, which is just, that's just my bias and everybody else disagrees with me on the committee, but that's fine. I've been around longer than they have. Even though I'm 20, I've been around in the libertarian world longer than they have. But it's just that's something we need direction on, is to just stop going for a massive froofy event and don't pursue a large speaker. I would like to see the board have a resolution saying cease and desist trying to find a massive person, and let's have a separate event if you want to do it. That's their own thing. That's a libertarian outreach event. But let's separate those two. Let's separate that from the state convention, because those two things don't really need to be together. I would like to see board direction on whether they would prefer some form of live music, the inflatable concept, or a casino game idea, or something else for Friday night. And then we need board's approval for the expenses specifically on the report, which right now, as I've amended it through here, and obviously we can have seminars if the board would like to on Sunday, but my professional recommendation would be that we don't do seminars on Sunday, and we would only do 2 rooms of seminars on Saturday, so a total of 6 seminars on Saturday, 3 that are 3 and 3 that are side by side. If we make all of those changes, drop the debate, which actually I would like a board resolution on the debate as well, on whether or not the board would like us to do a debate. So I think that other members are going to continue to push for that, even if there's just a soft no, but I think the board should vote on that. And so there's debate Friday night. The number of seminars we're going to be doing, which the board needs to make a decision on, which just directly affects the budget, and then whether or not the board would like the state convention committee to continue to pursue large level speakers and try to do a very large, thousands of per people type of a event.
Okay, so let's start with, I wrote most of them down, but you'll catch me if I miss any.
Okay.
So.
I have a point of order.
Okay.
With all due respect, I don't think it's within the authority of the chair to unilaterally give a committee that's not required in our bylaws decision-making power. I think that power resides within the board, and that we do have the authority here to overrule recommendations made. I do not think as chair you have that authority to do that.
So the board does have the right to override the committee, but I am strongly suggesting don't override the committee.
Right.
Because you're going to lose volunteers. So that's my strong suggestion. But if we want to override the committee, we're very welcome to override the committee. That's our right. So you have a quick, you got like 30 seconds.
Yeah. Just for the board's information, I have done 5 state conventions and a national convention, none of which cost money. That should be your biggest moneymaker of the year. And if you want, I'll suggest, I actually wrote a book on how to plan conventions, and I'm more than happy to sit down and talk to you about it. I can't run it myself, but I will help you, show you how you make them.
Okay.
Well, I had comments then to the other thing was a point of order, so now,
I think we need to go through the motions.
Can we go through the
first.
motions and decide, make the decisions that he's
Any
asking for the
discussion?
decisions on? Because he's asking for us, the board, to make decisions.
well,
on.
but there's more of a general something that's more general, because he gave a very general overview, and I have some comments on that general overview. Yes.
Okay.
I'm supporting Nathan in a couple things that he said, and I know I'm at odds with some people's philosophy, but this is primarily a business meeting. And in my limited time with the party, I've seen that our business gets a short shrift each year, and I'm really tired of that. And it seems like this is an entertainment event with maybe some business. And I think our convention needs to be business, maybe with some entertainment. Also, I don't understand why in an off year we need a 3-day convention. That kind of concerns me. I don't know why we split business between 2 days. You have 2 different crowds, and you can have 2 different minds of those 2 different crowds, where business was all much more consistent and satisfactory results, and the resolutions and things that we're passing. Our platform and bylaws will control us for the next year. Getting entertained by a magician will not. If we cut out Sunday and put all of business onto Saturday and didn't, and again, with all due respect, again, in these past 2 years, I don't, and I know other people have felt this way, and they can, if they want to jump in. I don't find the breakout sessions entirely helpful. I think our keynote speakers are what drives people. And if we had a Friday night party, Saturday all-day business, Saturday night party, I think that would make for a successful convention rather than dragging this thing out over 3 days and splitting our business between 2 days. So that was my general overview discussion. And yes, because I am opening my mouth about all of these things, if these are considerations we would like to send back to the committee, I will volunteer to be on that committee to help with my suggestions.
So can I comment on the seminars? One of the goals of the convention is for the theme to be Libertarian City and to accelerate people and get people to run for local office. So whatever those seminars are, if we have 2 side-by-side seminars, one of them will be focused on actual issues. So right now the leading theory is having 1 social media seminar, 1 fundraising seminar, and then 1 actual practical political skills seminar, like ground game, Kara Howell coming as a who's driving, bringing in Evan McMahon as a
fantastic.
Some type of a this is how you run a campaign, and then have the other 3 be specifically. What we do is we have way too many seminar slots, and as a result, we dilute it and we just don't focus on getting actually solid people, and we end up with things. And no offense to anybody who ran these seminars, the 2 that I'm going to mention, but they're 2 historic seminars with libertarian themes and scary movies and libertarians and pit bulls. And we end up with seminars that aren't super productive. I think that if we were to do the 3x3 if we were to do 6 seminars, 3 of which were practical political skills, 3 of which were issue based, but focus on getting people to get to a place where they're like, I actually want to run for a local office. One example would be bringing in Caitlin McGuire and Brian Rogers, who owns the Breckenridge Cannabis Club, who were on the show High Profits. It's a documentary that CNN did. I'm relatively close to them. They're active in the Libertarian Party. They were delegates to the state convention and the national convention last go around, and having them do a seminar that says, talk about the marijuana industry in Colorado, and then have one that was, and then have the practical application view. We got screwed really hard by the Breckenridge City Council, and if libertarians would have stepped up to run, if you guys would have stepped up and actually did something here, and not to say we don't, but stepped up in this capacity of running for local partisan, nonpartisan office that's really practical, we would have been in better shape. We're having David Williams do a seminar about interaction with law enforcement. I think having really specific ones that have actually interesting themes to people. Like, I think the interaction with law enforcement one is a great one that I would go to and be excited. And I didn't go to any of our seminars over the last 3 years, except for the ones I think I've been to a couple of them, but the ones I stumbled into and felt bad for leaving. I agree with Karen's point that sometimes we have ones that are froofy and that are less productive than others. And if we were to channel that more appropriately into a cop pulls you over, here's what you do to avoid getting a speeding ticket.
Avoid being killed.
Avoid being killed. Yeah, which probably isn't assert your rights and get out of your thing. Well, okay,
bring us back in.
Okay, I think that the seminars could potentially add value, and if we just did business in the morning on Sunday and cut everything else out, it really wouldn't be. It would be a second half of it. It would be the evening on Friday, all day Saturday, morning on Sunday, and we would be able to squeeze it into less than 48 hours.
My question is, are you asking the board to tell the committee how they want the business meeting? Not how, but when they want the business meeting and how long?
I think that we have a pretty good idea that we need 8 hours of business.
We need 8 hours, correct.
But whether, I think that specifically there should be direction on whether it's more all day Saturday or just in the morning on each days.
If you want the board to make that decision, or if you want to go back to committee.
I think the committee will feel as if they should do it in each morning. And I can just tell you that that's how I believe the committee will operate. So if the board has a different perspective, I think that it's appropriate for the board to step in and have their voice be heard in that situation with a resolution to the committee.
We're out of time again.
I move to extend time by another 10 minutes with no ability to extend time further.
Would not have voted for that.
Is there objection to that motion?
I object to that motion.
There is one objection, 2 objections, at least that many.
So speaking in favor of them.
All right.
So, speaking in favor of this, looking at our agenda, guys, 4 minutes each for the rest of our new business is 20 minutes. We've got at least one other report, if not a platform and a constitution report. If we want to hit everything on our agenda, we have 10 minutes to get this wrapped up, period.
Thanks for doing the math.
Anybody want to speak against?
Yeah, this is one of the most important decisions we're going to make. I would rather forego the rest and get this done.
I think that if we were more effective in addressing this, instead of having long speeches on each point, we could get this done in a great minutes.
I think so too. Anybody else against? All right, is this a 2/3 or is this?
This would be a 2/3.
So 2/3 vote needs for it to pass. We'll do a roll call because there were objections. So we'll do vice chair. No. Is that a yes?
No.
No? So vice chair is no. I didn't know if it's a yes or no. Okay, treasurer?
Yes. Yes.
Fundraising?
No.
Campaigns?
Yes.
Outreach?
No.
Regions?
Yes.
Legislative?
No.
Membership?
Yes.
Communications?
No.
Records?
Yes.
What does our numbers come out?
That's not 2/3.
5-5, it fails.
Okay.
Motion, move to extend time by another 10 minutes.
Any objections? All right, hearing none, we are for another 10 minutes. Okay, so
Let's go business meeting layout.
what,
Let's have a board vote on business meeting layout, or discussion.
okay,
And can the chair limit discussion and speeches so that we can get through this? Sorry.
yes, I will keep Nathan under control. So the first topic is business meeting, either all day, 8 hours on Saturday, sorry, or 4 hours Saturday, 4 hours Sunday.
And that would mean nothing on Sunday, that the convention would then be
It'd be just
Friday and
business
Saturday.
only on Sunday. Oh, if it's all day Saturday, there'd be nothing that would do on
And it would
Sunday.
eliminate seminars, so we gotta make sure everyone understands what's being said.
All right, so seminars would disappear with the 8 hours. With the 4 and 4, we would have seminars and we would meet on Sunday.
Only for
And
business.
this would
Only
not
for
affect
business.
Friday,
Friday.
you haven't made a decision on.
It would not affect Friday.
And we wouldn't just do a $200 one-room convention. That's a
On,
whole subject.
yes,
I'm not
We're
against that.
still using a hotel.
yes. Okay. Matthew,
We would have to change the whole agenda to get 8 hours in because there's 3 and 3.
No, we'll get rid of the seminar.
We get rid of.
we're not talking, the seminars would disappear if we did 8 hours on Saturday. And then 4 and 4, we wouldn't have to change the agenda, we're let the community change the agenda. So the decision is, do we do 8 hours Saturday? Or do we do 4 and 4 Saturday, Sunday?
We can make
Is
8 work.
that understood? Sorry,
Just
Michelle.
from my experience, the reason why you go over the second day is because you try to sell at least a couple of room nights at the hotel, so it cuts your other costs. So if you don't do that, the costs for the room usually go up. Something to keep in mind and think about why you're changing, why you have a 3-day convention.
Was that in the estimates for
That hasn't
sales?
been included in the
Okay,
estimates.
so it's not a factor. in
Well, it
these
could be a factor if we were to negotiate with it.
But we haven't in
We
these
haven't
costs.
in this
Okay.
document.
Eric?
Quick question. Business is essentially just for the board to conduct business, correct? Or is it
All,
for-
the whole body.
Okay.
Everybody who comes,
Oh,
We have a lot of bylaws with us.
Okay,
somebody.
so I don't know how we're gonna do this. So I guess the first motion would be for, if you want the 4 and 4, vote no. If you want 8, vote yes. So that's the first motion, is 8 hours on Saturday would be the first motion.
Just to add to it, if I may, the convention that did have the horror film libertarian discussion, I enjoyed, and that was one of the years I max donated for the year. And so I don't want to neglect those libertarians that come to pick up various gleams of things they might be interested in, to get them there, and these are the people that might create extra donated opportunities.
Okay, so that's the 8-hour block, which is what we're gonna vote on now. If we had the
We're
8-hour
still in
block, there'd be no
discussion.
seminars. We are still in discussion, yes, but that's the first motion is yes to the 8 hours or no to the 8 hours?
I think that I've heard from Michelle over the years, and she has a lot of experience, that when you do a big hubbub convention, you make money if you do it right. And we've lost money doing big hubbub conventions, but we have a chance to make money. And Nathan's budget is 75 people. It's really realistic, and you could do that. So if we want to try and make money off of it, we should not go get a business owner.
Well, the suggestion isn't business only, and let me clarify what I was suggesting. I say make Friday and Saturday night bigger. Make those the draws. Have have a keynote on Friday rather than just entertainment, and have fantastic 1 or 2 keynotes on Saturday. The speakers we're bringing in, let them shine in front of everybody, not segregate them off into a seminar room. I think we can make money. I don't think the seminars generally, with all due respect, they can draw in money. I say make the 2 parties and put the party back in Libertarian Party those 2 nights. And during the day, conduct our business with a consistent same group of people rather than spreading it out over 2 days.
Any more discussion, or are you ready to vote for the 8 hours on Saturday? All right, we'll take a roll call vote. Vice Chair?
Yes.
Treasurer?
Yes. Yes.
Fundraising?
No.
Campaigns?
No.
Outreach?
No.
Regions?
Yes.
Legislative?
No.
Membership?
No.
Communications?
Yes.
Records?
No.
Does that put us at 50?
Fails.
Fails.
Oh, we got 6 no's. I counted the wrong one. You're right. I was thinking, I was counting no's, but I switched it to yeses somehow. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so that fails. Okay, so that leaves it as 4 and 4, unless you guys want to vote 4 and 4. I mean, that's where it is now. 4 hours on 4 hours, right?
I think we can move on to the next.
Okay.
The next one, though, would be Nathan's suggestion of eliminating seminars on
I think
Sunday.
if we can do the don't go after a big speaker, the big speaker would keep people there while the seminars were going on. If we can do don't go after
And then the next
Fruit,
motion.
and then
Yeah.
seminars on Sunday. That's
Okay.
a better order.
So the next motion is to instruct the committee not to do I don't want to call it a major speaker.
Major celebrity.
A major-
Sunday night.
A major celebrity event on Sunday night.
The major celebrity event.
Sunday night or
Speaker.
Sunday night or
Saturday?
Yes, that would be Sunday night.
Sunday
And that's,
night.
yeah.
A
so-
major celebrity event,
Yes,
period,
look at the,
right?
Oh, yeah.
So let's,
I don't
It's a-
support it.
hold on. It's a major celebrity event, period, no matter which date.
Right.
Well, the goal would be to have have a bunch of major celebrities show up, but specifically the first one would be aimed towards Sunday night. So don't go after any major celebrities. That would require us to put out massive amounts of money or do massive profit sharing situations.
Okay, so
That's
no major celebrity
Celebrities.
event that would cost the party a lot of money.
Well, I would not include that would cost the party a lot of money. Because people would argue that
Going
we'll
after
save.
a lot.
Don't go after major celebrities.
So no major celebrity event.
That need to be paid.
That would cost.
Next time, we're gonna use.
What if we just said eliminate the event on Sunday, and then the convention committee can decide who they want to recruit and why they want to recruit?
No,
and how much
they're
it
asking
costs?
for our vote on whether or not. to go
Well, I
after
thought they were
major
asking, I thought they were asking for the event on Sunday.
No,
Major
there's
event on
this-
No,
Sunday.
just major speakers.
Well, the Sunday would be the first slot that we would fill, hypothetically, if we were able to get major speakers. And then there would be like lunches.
Just get shifted to the next.
So the goal would there be like a bunch
It's not
of places where
really
there would be major speakers.
It's do we pay big bucks?
We just want to, so the board needs to decide, do we want to pay for a major speaker to come in, or do we not want to pay for it? Doesn't matter the day.
And the idea is that we could sell tickets
It
to it.
does,
and
because if we're putting out there that we say, just throwing Gillette out there because he's been brought up a couple of times. We go out there and we say, we don't want Gillette brought in, but all of a sudden he has Saturday available and wants to come out Saturday and we can afford it, we should consider it. But is this event Sunday? That's what I'm looking at.
That's why
So
I-
that changes my vote completely. I mean, if it's not a major speaker, then no, I'm against that. If it's no event on Sunday, yeah, I'm against that. I don't
So
want
let's
that.
keep the no event. I'd like that better.
So
and
what's
not
your
just to-
request?
To vote on the Sunday event.
Only Sunday.
So no
Only
major
Sunday.
speaker for Sunday.
right.
is the vote.
Okay, so the motion is the committee wants us to instruct them for no major votes for Sunday. Yes.
Major speaker for Sunday.
Another, just through experience, The reason why we've always had a major speaker on Sunday, our what we call our closing speaker, was so that you would keep your people through the business meeting.
Good strategy. Is that in the book?
Yes, please.
If all we have is the business meeting though on Sunday, well, and the major speaker is meant to be like more major than our typical major speaker, like 50% plus name recognition major speaker, like celebrity status pretty much. So I just say that the vote is on Sunday, and it would be much later than when business was over.
We're talking like a 5-hour gap.
If we canceled seminars, but then if we were able to get a major speaker, people would stay and sit through the seminars as they waited for the major speaker, most likely. So that's kind of why I wanted to go the Sunday night first
But we don't have
before
a
that.
room for that either, for that major speaker. That's not in the cost.
No, it isn't. But the theory is that the people on the committee would argue that it would pay for itself because we would have some type of profit sharing, or where they would pay for the location and sell tickets, then give us money back at the end, or some. They want to figure out some way that when it costs the LPCO money, and I don't know, it'll end up being very, very messy.
I'm into pragmatism. How about just setting a cap that don't go after a speaker that is likely to cost LP Colorado more than X dollars?
Because there are members on the committee that will say this won't cost LP Colorado anything, and we'll waste time going after the person.
There's another practical point to bring up here. We've been through a couple conventions, a lot of us together here. We're not professional convention planners. We barely put last year's together.
We're out of time.
Motion to extend time by another 10 minutes.
Is there any objection to extending by another 10 minutes? Okay, keep in mind it's 8:30.
Point of information.
Yes, sir.
When was the meeting called to order?
7:04.
So another point of information, that gives us 34 minutes, just so everybody's aware of where we're at on timeline before we must adjourn for the evening.
And there is a problem with room availability. We're about 4 minutes over our agreed room availability.
Okay, keep that in mind. We have other business. So let's keep our discussion short. All right, so we are on celebrity status. Celebrity.
Seeking out a celebrity on Sunday night. And I just got a note, committee do not seek out a celebrity for Sunday night. And if they want to do that on their own thing, then they can. People who want to do that, LP Colorado does not want to sponsor a major speaker on Sunday night.
So a yes vote would be no?
A yes vote would be no.
So yes vote would be instructing the committee not.
Well, we can
everybody clear.
So the committee is requesting that the board recommended or tell the committee not to have a celebrity speaker Sunday night.
Or to have, whichever.
But not to have.
Not to have. But your motion allows you
So
to either say no.
the yes vote is to tell the committee not to have a celebrity speaker.
I'm very unclear on why we're just not moving to say it's business
Because
only on Sunday.
That doubles
discussion.
up. I like that, Karen.
I think that motion.
This is business only on Sunday.
Business only on Sunday would resolve all
Okay,
of
we
this.
have a motion on the table that's not related to what you were
We
saying.
didn't start voting, Nathan can withdraw it.
I withdraw it.
We're gonna get to this freaking meeting. We need to stop.
And that
Right, I agree.
that combines the next two, so I like that. That actually saves us
Fine.
time.
The motion on the table that cannot be withdrawn is business only on Sunday.
Technically, Nathan cannot make a motion, so someone.
I just made
Okay,
the
thank you.
motion. All right, is there any objection to that motion? There's no objection to that motion. That motion passes. You've been
Business
instructed.
only, okay.
Business only on Sunday. Okay, so that gets rid of your foo-foo event. So
Thank you.
Friday, your next question is whether we have a live band or a DJ.
So no, it's whether we do pay for live, whether our entertainment budget goes towards live music, a casino theme, or the inflatable fighting tools.
Does our voting allow for the option?
No. So
Can we just go up, down on the inflatables? Pursue exclusively the inflatable option. I think that's the best one, and I'm guessing the board will agree with me.
So the motion would be
Karen does.
inflatables only versus doing all three?
Yeah.
I contend that I think if you play your cards right, given the opportunity they can have for selling their own business, we could probably get someone to do DJ and lighting services for free.
We had that problem before.
We've tried that in the
It
past.
does not,
Failed.
it's become a nightmare.
Well, and the DJ isn't an issue. We can just get someone to plug in an iPod.
So the DJ the committee isn't asking about a DJ.
The committee's not asking, it's
The
like a
committee is
live
asking about
band.
live band, inflatable, boxing, or casino.
Yeah,
one of
where
those
does that
three.
entertainment budget go?
Do we need to vote on each of those separately, or do we
He's
just?
asking,
We just keep on voting on them until
He's
one
asking.
gets a yes.
Okay.
you want to do it that way?
All right,
I think start with
It's up to-
inflatables.
I'm trying not to step on the committee's toes here,
You're being
so.
respectful, I appreciate it.
Okay,
Yeah, there'll be a cash bar.
so the
We
first
don't pay for
question
it.
you want is inflatable jousting.
Yes.
Okay.
Any
The motion on the table is to instruct the committee to have inflatable jousting on Friday evening. Is there any objection to that? Does anybody want discussion? Is there any objection? So that passes. So you got a unanimous vote for inflatable jousting. That means live band, boxing, and casino are out.
No,
Sorry.
no, it's not.
Live band and
Boxing.
casino, I read this, they brought the line on.
I'm sorry.
Live band and casino are out.
Yes.
I read
That
that.
wasn't the question. So we were gonna go through all three.
Fine, we'll go through all three.
All right. Live band.
Does anybody, the motion now is people want a live band at the,
In addition to the.
yes, because we just voted on doing inflatable. So the question now is to have the live band be part of the Friday night activity with the live inflatable jousting and boxing. Is there objection to that?
Yes.
We have an objection.
Yes.
Is it going to be a unanimous objection? Does anybody want to vote for it? Great, that does not pass.
Sweet.
All right. Next one is casino games. Do you guys want to have casino games on Friday night to include with the inflatable jousting and boxing? Is there objection to that?
Successful. How successful was it last year?
Did we make money last year?
We did make, it was $700 or $800. I would assume that the money that we would bring in, it doesn't really matter what our pay-to-play platform is, as much as that we just have a place where people can pay money to do something. I think that the inflatable fighting is more lucrative probably than the casino stuff.
Talk too much. Okay, casino games. Is there an objection to this? There is. Is anybody going to vote for it?
I will. Clarify what the question is.
So the question is to include casino games
Do we want to add casino games, yes or no?
on Friday night.
In addition to the
Yes.
boxing.
Okay,
Yes, objection means we don't. Yes means we do.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Would you rather use?
So there
last
is
names?
one, shut up, there's one who said yes, so we will do roll call. Vice Chair.
No.
Treasurer.
I'm not sure what we're voting on.
Okay, that means yes.
That's an abstain.
Do you want casino included with the inflatables?
No.
Okay. Fundraising.
Yes.
Campaigns.
Yes.
Outreach.
Yes.
Regions.
Yes.
Legislative.
No.
Membership.
No.
Communications.
No.
Records.
Yes.
So that one passes, right?
No.
If I did my math right?
No. We only had
I think that moves to the chair.
we had 5-4, and all the rest are none.
5 for,
Five were in favor of it.
in favor, 4 was no. So it
No,
doesn't
no, no,
pass.
no, it's not 4, no. 1,
5-5.
2, 3.
It's your choice.
Oh, is it 5-5? I thought it was 5.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
5-5. So I have to decide.
Hard to decide.
Adding them to a budget now.
Yeah, add another $800. It's not going to bring in
But
any
it
more
makes money.
No, well, it's not going to bring in more money.
I
Already.
am going to pause for a second. Can I?
Information,
Yes.
by voting yes, does that mean you have to have it, or does that just mean it's an option still?
It's just an
being
option. Yeah. Okay. I am going to vote no.
Okay, sweet.
I didn't want to vote on that.
Okay, and then based off the current proposal, I would like a board direction on whether they want 2 seminar rooms or 3 seminar rooms for that Saturday seminar time slot.
But now it's just on Saturday.
Now it's just Saturday. Would like to see, I would prefer to see just 2, so I think it saves us money. But there's a discussion between whether it's 2 or 3.
So if we have two, we can only have six seminars.
Six seminars total.
Okay, so the motion that I'm going to propose for the committee is to have 2 seminar rooms for a total of 6 seminars for Saturday only. That's the motion.
Yes.
Discussion or objection? Great. Any objections? Great. You get 6 seminars.
Okay, perfect. So then, the budget that we would need approved is $11,550, 1,000 of which is due up front, and then other parts of which can be approved at later board meetings.
Is the budget appropriate at this time, or the debate thing appropriate at this time?
The debate, we need the debate thing.
Right, that would come first.
Okay, so,
Wait, so we're not doing the budget yet. So now, the debate of whether or not we have a debate for Saturday night. So the question then would be on the table, does the board want to instruct the committee to have a debate for Saturday night? Is there any discussion or objection?
Object.
Yeah.
All right.
Is everybody going to object?
Is everybody going to object?
I don't want to debate if that's what object.
That's what object.
Yes, I would object.
So nobody's gonna vote yes. Okay.
Okay.
So no debate.
No debate.
Thank you, Mike.
I vote yes on that.
You vote yes on that.
It's gonna sell tickets. I mean, are we gonna become the people that need to have safe spaces because we can't handle someone else's opinion?
It's not a matter of that.
Okay, so we have one that would vote for, so against.
If we're, now discussing.
Yeah, we're still discussing.
So against, I mean, it's not that we're saying we don't like debate, it's that who are we gonna draw in an off election year to come and watch Austin Peterson and Kokesh debate, or somebody in that realm? I mean, libertarians that are already libertarians are familiar with this debate. Is that
It's been
really,
had a million times.
is that really something that's necessary? And I mean, if we want to have some sort of debate, and that's why we want to vote for this, to allow a debate, then that keeps the option open to the committee. But I mean, I don't see any reason to have a minarchy versus anarchy debate as our featured event on a Saturday
All it
night.
does is divide the
Okay. Anybody else? That was again, so 4, anybody else for?
I will vote.
Do you have a discussion for?
No.
Okay, Mike?
And against, I would say, if we're gonna have that debate, we need to move that closer to more effective election cycle. I would say closer to 2 years out from a major election, not 3 years.
Okay.
This would be my opposing point to you is if we don't think that having these 2 guys up there for a debate is going to elicit any new support for us, why are we going to think that we're going to get anybody whatsoever because they're here? Just because they're going to talk? I mean,
Okay, hold on. We've run out of our 10 minutes again.
Motion to extend by another 10 minutes.
Any objection to extending by another 10 minutes? All right.
We get people here because they're here to hear something edifying, not something that's going to put libertarians at each other's throats. Austin Peterson, I'm going to say a lot of very nice things about him right now. He is a big talent, and he could get up there in a keynote and speak about and can speak about political entrepreneurship, can speak about starting a PAC, can speak about how we're going to support down-ticket candidates, things that will bring libertarians together rather than getting up there with a debate that can turn potentially hostile with some name-calling that is just going to divide this party.
Call for the question.
All right, so I've got to call for the question. We need a 2/3 vote for that to pass. Which states?
No, it's not.
This,
Majority.
shut up. It's a 2/3 for call the question.
Oh,
So for call the question, we need 2/3 vote. That ends the discussion. Is there anybody who objects to any of the discussion? Very good. We're going to vote on whether or not to have a debate. So we'll do roll call. Vice Chair? No. Treasurer?
No.
No. Fundraising?
Yes.
Campaigns?
No.
Outreach?
No.
Regions? No. Legislative?
No.
Membership? No. Communications?
No.
Records? Get up. There's no debate.
No debate. Okay.
So now your next is for a budget of 11,000.
It's 10,550. I did my math wrong.
Okay, very good. So just 10,550 with an immediate $1,000
due
contract.
And we need either to give someone who's on the committee, me or Bill Arnett.
Let's do the budget first, and then we'll do the contract.
Jay, before we
go into that motion, can we talk about making it an even 11 grand just in case there's additional expenses that are unforeseen, i.e. liability insurance for the inflatables?
Move to amend to 11,000.
We haven't made the motion yet, so you want the motion to be 11,000?
Yes.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is for 11,000 total for the convention committee to spend. Is there any discussion? Is anybody going, do you have discussion?
Well, we don't have $11,000, so do we have a game plan to get that money raised? Do we have enough recurring contributions?
Selling tickets.
We have to sell tickets.
Yeah, but, okay, so all of that we sell, none of this has to be paid for upfront other than that.
The 1,000.
Nothing else.
And then it's the money, at least minimally the food is due 10 days out.
Which is a long time.
And we'll have tickets, so yeah, there's projected, $15,000.
We should have money from the tickets for most of the convention ahead of time before the convention rolls around.
And if we don't, then we actually, the ticket prices will go up as we get closer to the convention. These numbers are based off of the baseline ticket price, which would be $100 for an all access ticket.
And Nathan will get up and cry at the convention. He's done this before.
I'm good at it.
He will.
All right.
Yeah, we'll have fundraisers. We should
How
come
much
out of
does
that.
it cost to maybe see a cry?
Okay, so we want to make sure that you get the recognition from the chair. So, any other discussion?
So Nathan, where the heck are you thinking of 75 people? We've had on your elections where we only got 34 people to the convention.
I know.
Did you look at previous records?
I figured the 75 was the number that I thought was just realistic that we could hit, given the team of people that we have. And significant growth that's taking place since other years.
That's a significant growth.
I mean, it's not,
Double the
it's,
number of people paying
our
on the
presidential candidates are polling at 7 to 8 times what they got in 2012. So, I mean, a multiplier of only 2 to 3 or 1.5 to 2.5 isn't really that significant.
Okay, Wayne?
One of the things we're not taking into account here, I recognize your conservative thought process here, Mike, but we have a significant social media mechanism in our pocket right now that we haven't had in the past. And I think we can get the word out. I don't think we're having trouble getting sent out there.
I think our advertising is much better this year than we have this year. All right, any other discussions? All right, we will now, so the motion on the table is for $11,000 to convention committee with 1,000 spend on the contract immediately or soon immediately. Any objections? Hearing none, that budget passes. Now we need to assign somebody from the committee to sign the contract on behalf of.
Don't actually need to do that. We either need somebody who can who either need to be told which board member to send bills to so they can sign for them, or we need someone on the convention committee, and either of those things are.
Bills go to John.
Okay.
John's the treasurer.
Okay.
But to sign the contract that is signing on behalf of the.
Well, he can
LPCO.
sign, but there are members of the board, my understanding, that have been designated signing power.
Just the chair and that's it.
I can send stuff, I can
Unless the
email
board-
stuff to you if you don't have an issue with scanning
Unless
it and
the
returning it.
board overrides, which I'm requesting the board to override and assign it to someone on the committee so they can just sign it and be done and not have to wait for me. So my motion is to assign somebody on the committee. So currently on the committee, we have Eric, Matthew, Nathan, who are here. Karen soon, right?
Well, if they want me.
If you want to.
No, they won't.
To be on the committee. So I would say Eric, Matthew, or Nathan to sign the contract for.
I would move to authorize Nathan to sign the contract on behalf of the LPCO.
Okay, so Nathan, there's been motion for Nathan to sign on the contract on behalf of the board. That second, is there any objection? Great.
Point of discussion.
Is that, we're supposed to vote? Okay.
My point of discussion is that given the estimates we have, whatever Nathan signs, if they're wildly out of what we've been given here, then before you sign, you let us know.
Yeah, I'll sign within budget.
Yes, that's within budget.
And things will, before I sign, I can have it so that before I sign things that I send them out to the board. And give like 24 hours for the board to object to things if people want that.
That'll work.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
So any objections to Nathan being the signer on the contract? You got one objection or you've got discussion?
That's my vote, one objection.
Okay. So there's an objection, so we're gonna do roll call, vice chair,
Yes.
treasurer.
I think
Fundraising?
yes. I think yes.
Campaigns,
Yes.
outreach,
Yes.
regions,
Yes.
legislative,
Yes.
membership,
Yes.
communications,
Yes.
records?
No.
All right, so it passes. Okay, are we done with the committee, with the state convention committee?
Yes.
Very good. Next on the list is the special committee report, which is the ballot initiative committee. Everybody got a copy of that report. My motion as part of the committee report is to ask the board to approve the committee report as written.
I object.
We have an objection to that motion. Did you want anything else in particular?
Well, I would say the board already made a decision on Amendment 71 last meeting, and that the committee does not have the authority to.
Are you asking to divide the report?
I'm asking to divide the report from everything else and Amendment 71.
Okay. To make things a little bit smoother, we are going to vote on everything in the report except for Amendment 71. Are there any objections to the rest of the report? So that means.
Hold on a second. I did get some feedback from one of our members. Let's see. Okay, no objections.
Okay, so no objections on the rest of the report. Then we'll vote, and we're going to do a roll call vote anyway for the rest of the report, just to make sure it's on record. So vice chair?
Yes.
Treasurer?
Yes. Yes.
Fundraising?
Yes.
Campaigns?
Yes.
Outreach?
Yes.
Regions?
Yes.
Legislative?
No.
Membership?
Yes.
Communications?
Yes.
Records?
Yes.
Okay, so the report passes, except for Amendment 71 at this point. We get that up on the website.
Right, I will.
Okay. Now we're on to Amendment 71, which would be the other amendment in there. So the committee has read through the whole thing. You'll see that their proposals in there. We have one objection on it so far. Mike, do you want to speak for the committee report? Michael Stapleton, yes.
I think speaking for the committee report is out of order, that the board has already made a decision on this.
So you're saying the report is speaking for the report?
No, I'm saying that we voted last time to allow our name and reputation to be used to oppose Amendment 71. The board has already made a decision on this. Regardless, the committee has a different opinion, that's fine. But it's already been decided, unless someone's going to do a motion to reconsider the board's decision last time, that voting on the committee report in that regard is completely out of order.
Let me see. Is that actually?
When the end of, was it?
It was voted last month. Richard, I'm coming to you as the parliamentarian. Do we need to do a motion to reconsider?
Yeah, I don't see it voted last month.
We voted to use our name to oppose
Oh,
Amendment
right, with
71.
Richard Krause.
Yes.
So we
Okay,
need,
yes, that's
what we
good.
need is anybody who voted in favor on the motion that
Yes,
passed
not required for a motion to reconsider.
is,
I asked the parliamentarian in the intervening month, since it's been such a issue of controversy, and he said no. That would only be within the same business session. It would have to be somebody voting on the side of.
I think your parliamentarian is wrong, because otherwise you could have the same person come to every meeting and be a stick in the mud and constantly bring the same thing up every.
Listen, I would love it to be that way, but I actually asked two parliamentarians
Well,
that are on the national committee.
Okay,
I
so-
mean,
I think we have to go with Richard as our problem.
I'm fine with that, but I'm just saying that the two people are on the LNC.
I will admit that I'm not 100% on this, so I'll leave it to the discretion of the chair, unless somebody can prove otherwise quickly.
I like your idea.
So I'm going to drop this to the board because I am not 100% sure, but if the board agrees, it has to be 50% or 2/3?
It has to be 2/3 to reconsider.
No, to override, to determine a rule
To do
for
our
the
own
chair.
thing?
Yeah.
2/3.
2/3? Okay, so we need a 2/3 vote. So I'm going to put the motion out that we need a 2/3 vote doesn't really matter. Because a motion to reconsider still takes a 2/3 vote.
Right.
So you're saying combine both of them as one, or we need?
Combine both as one, because if you're gonna vote for one, you're
I
gonna vote
think
for
the
the other one.
parliamentarians are wrong, and just my quick perusal, it can be made only by a member who voted with the prevailing side. So someone here who voted.
That's what you said.
Yeah, no, I'm just kind of. Listen,
Is
I'm.
there- okay, stop.
Oh, okay.
Is there anybody
Yeah, I'm
on
saying the
the
other
board? Shh. Is there anybody on the board who's going to disagree that it takes a motion to reconsider by someone who voted yes last meeting? Are you going to disagree with that? All right, so now we need, is there anybody on the board who voted yes the last, or to reconsider? How did Matthew have vote?
That's what I'm pulling up. Hold on 1 minute.
He voted yes.
He voted yes, so I can reconsider.
Yeah, technically.
Right? All right, so because Matthew Hess voted yes, I wouldn't have voted yes. But Matthew Hess voted yes for me last meeting. So I'm going to put a motion to reconsider Amendment 71 as the board position.
So, point of order to clarify, just so everybody's aware, this is a motion to rehear arguments, not do you support a 71 or not.
Right.
This is
Correct.
purely a motion to hear arguments.
And it requires
To go back
2/3.
into discussions of Amendment 71. Correct. So that requires a 2/3 vote, and we'll do roll call. Vice Chair?
No.
Treasurer?
No.
No. Fundraising?
No.
Where are we? Campaigns?
Yes.
Outreach?
No.
Regions?
Yes.
Legislative?
Yes.
Membership?
No.
Communications?
No.
Records?
No. Oh, wait. Yes, I mean, no.
Make me freak in my, which one
I
is
was trying to
it?
figure out which one.
This is to,
Who else voted yes?
this is a motion to reconsider.
So you're voting yes. Yeah.
So we have a lot of no's. Oh, I'm voting no. We're still on my vote.
So records definitely is no.
Yes.
All right. And then chair will vote yes. So that does not give us a vote, so that we do not reconsider Amendment 71. Okay. Special order, general orders, new business. We got 4 minutes.
I have a motion, actually, though, since we're not taking the committee report and our to put up some argument for the board's position. There is a minority report here that is in conformity, authored by David Aiken, that is in conformity with the board's prior decision. So I would move that the board adopt the minority report of the ballot initiative committee to put on our website.
To use the minority report.
Yes.
Okay. And we got a second.
Yes.
So the motion is to use the David Aiken, but grammar check or whatever.
Yes, but I mean, the argument's
report.
therein because it's in conformity with the board's prior decision.
Okay. Is there anybody who will object to that? That motion of using the minority report? Okay. Oh, no one objection. So roll call. Mike, I mean, not Mike.
Yes.
Wayne. Treasurer.
Yes. Yes.
Fundraising,
Yes.
campaigns,
Yes.
outreach,
Yes.
Regions.
Yes.
Legislative,
No.
membership,
Yes.
communications,
Yes.
records,
Yes.
and chair's gonna vote no. Okay. New business. Do we need to, does anybody want to make a motion to change the order of the agenda for the last 4 or 5 items?
Well, we're,
That we can get done in
We
2
got
minutes.
2 minutes.
I think, I move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion to adjourn, so we end mostly on time. Is there any objection to it? Great, we're adjourned.